guys, how are you? It's good to see you. Today we are going to do a science experiment on mixing oil and water, and we're going to see what happens. So because we are not really able to leave the house as often as we would, or we're not able to go to school or creche, or mummies and daddies aren't able to go to work the whole time, we're missing out on some of our lovely walks that we used to be able to do if we could hop in the car and drive to the beach or go up a lovely forest walk or nature trail. So today we are going to bring the beach home, or bring the ocean into our house, by making the ocean in a bottle science experiment. So I'd say it's very likely you have all these things at home, and I didn't have to go out to the shop to get them, so hopefully that's the same for you guys, and it's easy enough to make this thing and you don't have to go out to get any of the bits. So all you need today is a bottle, a clear bottle, blue food dye, water and oil. Now you can use loads of different oils, but the internet tells me yellow oil or sunflower oil or whatever other oil is, yellow oil, is better to use just for this particular experiment. So for the bottle, I am going to use a mouthwash bottle just because it was empty and it has the childproof lock on the top. If it doesn't have, if you're just using a normal bottle, you can just secure it with sellotape. Or I have a hot glue gun that I bought in Aldi a few months ago, and I haven't had to use it yet, so I'm going to make use of it today, and finally I get to use it to secure just the rim of this so none of the stuff comes out. But because it's only oil, water and food colouring, none of it is poisonous, so it's okay if a little bit spills out. Just hope it doesn't stain the carpet. So we are going to unscrew the lid. We are going to fill our bottle with a third filled with water. So that's about a third filled with water. Yeah, and not oil. Okay, so we have our bottle filled a third with water, and the next thing is several drops of food colouring. So I normally put several in by accident anyway, so I'm going to try not to put loads. I can't. Oh, okay. Well, I assume that's several. It's probably a few more than several, but sure. Oh, look. No. So whenever we put the food colouring in with the water, we can see that they are mixing nicely and making a cool kind of ocean colour. So because the food colouring is made of kind of the same stuff as the water, that means that they are mixing together nicely, and there's a word for that, and that is called soluble. I think that applies here. Yeah, it's like if we put sugar or salt in water and you mix it up, the sugar and salt disappear because it kind of dissolves, so that means it is soluble in water. It mixes up with it. There, that's a lovely blue colour. So whenever we put the oil in, that's a part of our experiment where we're going to see what happens. Because if we're doing a science experiment, normally it means we think something strange or different is going to happen. So do you think the oil will mix in with the water and it'll turn into something new? Or do you think it will kind of stay separate from it and maybe sit at the top or sit at the bottom or push the water to one side? Or, well, we'll see what happens. So I think you fill up the rest of the bottle with your oil. So let's do that very, very carefully. Oh, I'll move it a bit closer because it looks cool. What do you guys think is happening? Now, you have to ask Mommy and Daddy and make sure that they have a good bit of oil before we start this experiment. Whoa. So, science. Science kind of looks like magic sometimes, doesn't it? So, what is happening here? Do you think this is mixing, or do you think it is staying separate? Let's have a think. I can see loads of lovely blue bubbles in there where the blue and the water mixed. They still seem to be sticking together, but the oil seems to be doing its own thing. Look, all the oil is up here and it's not mixing into the bottom. So I think that means it is insoluble. It does not mix, or it does not dissolve into the water. It doesn't break down and change. So it stays the way it is. And I'm actually going to put the lid on and give it a bit of a shake. Do you see that? Cool. Now I'm actually going to use my hot glue gun now, because a little bit of water actually came out of that whenever I put the lid on. So here we go, my lovely hot glue gun. What a fantastic thing to get. Definitely do not regret this purchase, because look at me using it loads. Now, why is this not working? Oh, okay. Now, need adult supervision doing this sometimes. Oh, lovely, and it's lovely glittery glue as well. Perfect for our magic science experiment. Now, this is going to keep all my oil and water inside, and none of it is going to leak out and spill. So that is brilliant. So sellotape will definitely do fine, but I need to justify this fantastic purchase. And here I am. Now, lovely, put that down properly. Cool. Now I leave that to dry for a little bit. So, while that's drying, we'll have a look at it like this. Give it a good shake. Shake, 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 shake. To make it look like mouthwash again. Now, oh, that looks like it's mixed now, doesn't it? Very interesting. So we'll let that sit there and we'll see what happens. So, when things don't mix with water, we can call them immiscible, is one scientific word for it. We can call them insoluble, or if you're trying to think what kind of everyday things don't mix with water, it's like what happens whenever you're wearing your waterproof coat, or if you're in your wellies. So you're jumping around in muddy puddles, making loads of splashes, and whatever the shops put on your waterproof jumpers or your wellies means that the water can't mix with whatever the wellies or jumper is made of, so it can't get through and wet your t-shirt or your socks or your feet, because they are immiscible. Now this is happening very slowly. Maybe I shouldn't have shook it so much, but sometimes science takes some time to work. I've just been sitting here looking at it, and it's like a little lava lamp. It's very nice. The bubbles are moving very slowly. So whenever you go down really, really, really deep into the ocean, it gets a bit darker because the sun can't get through the water that far. So here, where the blue food colouring is settling at the bottom and the yellow oil is rising to the top, you can see the deep blue ocean. And then as we go up, it's getting brighter and brighter where the sun can get through, And this is the part of the ocean that we would be allowed swimming, because we can't really go down that far. We wouldn't be able to breathe because we're not fish. So you can see with the yellow oil, it just makes it look really nice, and you can see the difference where the light will get through. So this is where the sun comes in, and you could see little fishies and little sharks and whales and stuff swimming around here. And then the deeper you go, the harder it would be to see, because the light doesn't travel down that far. So that's cool, more science. So I'm going to sit here, lovely and relaxed, watching the bubbles fall down, and then we'll see where we are in a few minutes. So I've been sitting here for a lovely relaxed few minutes watching the bubbles go up and down, but they've all settled now. So what I've learned from that is do not shake it that quickly the first time round. Maybe whenever you play around with it a little bit, you can shake it as much as you like to see how long it takes for the bubbles to settle and the oil and the water to separate, but maybe not at the start of the process. So you can see the water is separated again, and there's our oil mixed still with a few more bubbles of food colouring in there. But now what we were probably supposed to do at the start, you can move it around and see it mix round and separate. Just like the waves on a beach or down deep in the ocean. So because I have glued the top, I'm not able to take the top off, but if you would like to, if you have any spare fish or whales or sharks or mermaids or seashells or glitter or anything that would make this look even more cool, you can pop them in, and then as you move the bottle up and down, you'll be able to see them swim around in the ocean. So there we go, a nice little science experiment where, again, we learned together. We made some mistakes, but that's what science experiments are all about. Learning from our mistakes and coming up with really cool experiments. And now we know that water and oil do not mix, and you can use them in blue food colouring to make a cool ocean in a bottle. So hopefully we'll be able to go out and see the real ocean really, really soon, and we can bring our bottle and compare how it looks. Maybe I'll collect some seashells and make a new bottle. Well, this is cool. I could do this for hours, and it's lovely and relaxing, and I feel like I've just been meditating for half an hour. So you can watch all your bubbles mix and do their thing. So if you guys do make this experiment, have loads of fun and throw a few toys in there maybe, and maybe you can try with different colours. See you next time. Bye.